Right. Since you brought up like so many powerful points, and one thing that stood out to me the most, I know you and I have had lots of conversations behind the scenes on this topic. When it comes to life insurance, so many of our people, like you said, they think about it. I think many people actually, not just our people, but the first thing that comes into mind is, oh, are you trying to like, end my life so you can collect something off of my life? Which, again, is an unfortunate way of thinking, but many people do kind of think in that way. They're thinking that, okay, well, maybe someone can benefit off of, my passing, or I can just save money and, if something like that happens and my kids are okay. What can you say to that, that wrong thinking, or how can you maybe dispel that myth or whatever reasons people have for thinking in that direction?
I think that a lot of the time people have this reasoning because of how like life insurance is sold, and also just because of like our cultural beliefs from back home. Because if you think about it, the purpose of you insuring anything is so that if and when something happens, you can tap into that financial reserve and not have to deplete your personal savings to go through that season or to get it fixed or get it replaced. So, like when you think about life insurance, I say like it should be able to do three things, right? So, it should protect you, your loved ones in the case of your death. It should be able to protect you if you like get sick along the way, and it should be able to protect you if you live too long. Because like when you, for example, one of the things to think about is like, okay, when you get a disease like cancer or stroke or like an accident, you cannot prepare for this. And so think about if this happens to the primary breadwinner of the family, which is like the man. You're bringing in most of the income, and something happens to you that changes your life forever. How else are you going to be able to sustain yourself and your family during that season if you don't have like some type of trust fund, or if you don't have a financial reserve on your life? And then let's think about like if you end up passing away early, right? So again, one of my friends, I saw this on his podcast, and he was talking about how, a lot of times in our culture we get married early, right? Especially back home. So you see a man who is married early, has a wife, maybe has like 4 or 5 kids, and then, again, men are less likely to go to the hospital, less likely to get checkups. You don't really know that you have some disease going on in you, and then you drop dead. Well, that man has died. He's probably the primary breadwinner of the family. So, what does that mean to his wife? His wife and his family are automatically poor. Automatically poor. And there are statistics that talk about how women drop to poverty when the husband dies. Like, I forgot what the statistic is, but it's actually very alarming. Like, while you guys were married, you were fine. Immediately the husband dies, you are poor because you lose that income, you lose that presence. And for some people, like the men is probably the primary breadwinner. So now, if you had, imagine if, and then in our culture, especially in African culture, sometimes when the husband dies, the in laws take everything away. So not only is your wife grieving the fact that you have died, but now she has to struggle to find a way to survive and take care of her kids on her own for with nothing. So imagine if that person, that man, had a financial reserve on his life and he passed away. So now your family, your wife, your kids don't have to start from zero just because you're no longer there. There is something that they can tap into to sustain them. Yes, you will never be replaced in your lives because, we are priceless and irreplaceable, but at least you have left something behind that your kids can use to take care of themselves, and it can also build generational wealth. Like I had a friend who like her father passed away, and she got a life insurance like statement sent to her house, and now she's purchasing a house. She never thought about purchasing a house, but now she's like, yo, I got this check, I can buy a house. So like imagine that generational wealth. That's something that will pass on to her next generation. That has already put her ahead of the game than most people because her father did an investment to protect his life that will automatically take care of his children.